When a millionaire nearly runs out of money, he doesn't give up. He doesn't just sit back and watch his empire crumble. For me, that means picking up the tools again. You can take away the wealth, but you can never take away the drive to revive. Hello everybody and welcome back to my garage revivals. Alright, so yes, we are just about ready to go back to the shop. So today we don't really have a lot going on, but we do have a couple of things that I would like to get done, obviously. So yeah, we are just going to close up the house, and luckily we are going to be able to turn off all of our lights from here. So yeah, there we go. So let's hop into our truck over here, which I must say it handles this little driveway we've got over here a little bit better now that we've got the bigger wheels on it. So let's get it all fired up, and we're gonna just back it out. I'm gonna quickly jump out to close the garage door. Alright, and yeah, I think let's just get back to the shop and I will show you guys what I have prepared for today and what we're going to be working on. So yeah, as I said, there's not a whole lot going on, but we're going to try and get everything done today. It's luckily the middle of the week, so let's get back to the shop and see what we can get done. Alright, so we are back at the shop, and I must say our Ford F100 is actually doing very good, and I actually fell quite a bit in love with this truck. So we still need to do a little bit of engine upgrades because this thing is a little bit underpowered. I did notice it the other day when I was having all of the stuff in the back of the bed, and it was actually quite heavy, so we'll definitely have to upgrade the engine a bit at some point. But at the moment, for today, we have got basically two projects. So the first one being TC's drag slash drift truck. So we are going to do the front wheel or the rear wheel drive conversion, obviously. So this is the axle that we need to get installed. So that means we are going to have to take off the whole front suspension and transfer all of those parts over to the new axle. We are going to be removing the front drive shaft as well, which isn't going to be necessary. It's a little bit dark in here, so let me just come and switch on the lights quickly. Alright, so there we go. And then obviously we've got the new wheels and tires that he wants to have on the truck. So we are going to be taking these ones off. And he told me that I can hang on to these. I can keep them if ever I'm going to need them for something. So yeah, we've got a new set of wheels that's also going to be kicking around. Although we've got quite a bit of parts laying around. Or not really parts, but wheels in our tire rack inside the shop. So it might be time for me to start cleaning up a bit. I might do that off camera and get rid of some of the old wheels and tires that we have kicking around. But yes, this is one of the projects we need to get tackled today. Our Ram truck, I haven't done anything to it yet. I haven't even washed it since the last time when we collected the F100 and TC's truck there. So yeah, we're just going to leave the shop open there for now. I haven't been into the office just yet. But yes, I do want to get over to the paint booth over here because we've got the Mercedes Wagon, Lacko's car, in the paint booth. So it's basically stripped down as far as we need it to be stripped, and I also went ahead and changed the wheels on it so that we can actually get this thing sandblasted and also painted up in primer today. So hopefully this car will be getting one step closer to completion today. We've got quite a bit of rust we need to sort out, so we are going to just see if we can sort this rust out on the thing and get it painted. And hopefully we'll be able to get this thing painted in its final color very soon. But before I start with that, let's quickly take a walk over to the shop because I want to show you guys what I've done with the Volvo and the color that we actually went with. If you paid attention, you would have noticed the color already. But yes, there it is. So we did run a little bit of a poll on the Discord server, and everybody actually voted for, well, most of the people voted for this mint green color. So that is what we went with, and I took a little bit of initiative and I actually painted the spoiler, the rear and front bumper black as well to match the wheels along with the door mirrors. So for this thing we just need to put it all back together once again, and then I am going to be sending in the interior parts like the door cards and everything like that in for some color matching, because at the moment we've got some odd colored door panels here. I mean, this one is a little bit white, comparing it to the other ones. So we're going to be trying to color match all of these with the seats and yeah, obviously the dashboard and everything will be ripped out, and we're gonna just send it all in for the same color treatment so that everything matches quite nicely in here. And then once this thing is put together once again, I will probably send it off to auction. So as I said, there's no use keeping this around now because we wanted something that can actually be our daily driver, and I think for the moment the F100 is actually a very good daily driver, and we're going to be able to use it as well to haul stuff up and down with, and there's no real reason to hang on to this car at all. So that is going to be sent down the road, or well, obviously to auction once we are ready for that. So yeah, I think that is going to be one of our next projects we'll be finishing. So yes, let's continue work on Lacko's car over here. So we are going to fill up the sandblaster. I think, no, it's actually full already. But we are going to turn on the lights. And yeah, I actually had some new lights installed out here as well. So that is also, if we are going to be sandblasting vehicles, we can actually put them outside the paint booth. But I left this overnight in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and push it back quickly and just put it in that spot over there. It's going to be a little bit easier for us to move around the vehicle. Let's just get the handbrake off. And let's pull it back, or push it back a little bit. Alright, and yeah, let's just go a little bit more. Alright, and that is fine. Should be able to get everything done from here. And then we'll get it into the paint booth, but actually not really necessary because we've got the primer paint going on today, so it's not going to be as terrible. But okay, let's just open all of the doors and the trunk, and I don't think the hood really needs to be opened, but we'll just open it because we might have a bit of rust to sort out over there. So yeah, I think there's nothing to it but to do it, as I always say. So let's cue some music and get this thing de-rusted. Alright, so there we go, and I believe the car is completely rust free now. So we had a little bit of a challenge with the rear doors, getting the rust off there with the sandblaster. So I went to get the angle grinder, and I actually just grinded the rust off of this panel, so on the inside there's no more rust, and I think this thing is basically ready for its primer paint. However, Lacko did inform me that there might be some more dents. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to just pop into the gas station. We're going to grab a couple of tubs of body filler and just see if we can touch everything up nicely and get it nice and straight. Alright, so we've got some Bondo. And yeah, I believe this was the only real damage that I could spot on the car. Didn't see anything else really wrong. What I did notice is I forgot to take off this piece of trim. So chances are there might be some rust behind it. So let's quickly go and grab ourselves a pry tool here. Yeah, this is definitely going to make me fit today, running up and down for tools here. Alright, so let's get back there quickly and see if we can maybe just pop off that piece of trim. Just to make sure there's no rust behind this. Alright, so that looks good, and there's no more dents anywhere, so I think we are basically golden. I don't see any more problems. There's a little bit of damage there on this rocker panel, so let's just sort that out. Okay, and this quarter panel seems to be good. We don't have any dents on the roof. Let's just check this rocker panel as well. Actually doesn't look too bad. So yes, I think we are sorted with the Bondo. I actually bought a couple of extra tubs of Bondo, so yeah, let's just pop these in our backpack. I'm going to put them in the little storeroom there next to the paint shop or the paint booth. So let's just put our tools all together, and there we go. That's the cover. Almost blends in on this floor of ours. Alright, and then what we're going to do now is we are going to continue with some music, and we are going to grab our spray gun over here and get this thing primed up. Alright, so that is job done. So this car has now been sprayed in primer. And come on, let's just grab our air compressor here. We're going to put this back into the paint shop for now. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to push the car back inside the paint booth, because that's where it's going to obviously stay for some time. We are going to take all of these things back into the shop as well. So let's just see if we can push this thing without touching the paint. And yeah, I actually forgot about the handbrake. Let's just loosen the handbrake quickly. It might go a little bit easier then to push it. Alright, and try not to push it into the wall in the front. Alright, and there we go. That looks good. I think it should close. Okay, the door's maybe going to close on the car. Let's just push it a little bit more. Alright, and put the handbrake up, and then yeah, this is where we're going to leave this car to cure. So I'm going to gather all of the tools and the parts, and then we're going to be back into the suspension shop. Obviously, we're going to continue work on TC's truck now, trying to sort out that front suspension for him. So I'll be right back with you guys once we get this sorted. Alright, so we are here at the suspension shop now, and I'm just about to start working on TC's truck now. So what I think we're going to do first of all, I'm going to rip off all four of the wheels. We're going to put on the rear ones, the new wheels we've got. And then we are going to just get the front wheels fitted once the suspension has been transferred over. So yeah, that's going to leave us with obviously the front suspension completely stripped eventually. But I did get some wheel spaces for this as well, because these tires are going to need a little bit of spacing just to fit the truck a little bit better. Alright, and there we go. That is a very nice fit. I think it sticks out a little bit, but it's definitely going to look a little bit better than they would without any spaces. Right, so let's remove this wheel as well. And we'll just pop it down on the ground here. Alright, grab our next wheel spacer here. Pop that on. And we can get the wheel fitted. I'm not sure if these tires have got any air in them, because I actually did get them from TC shop in the last episode, so I'm not too sure if he aired them up already, so we'll have to check on that once we lower this thing back down. Alright, let's put that wheel on that side, and we're just gonna strip this one off as well. So yeah, we've got quite a flashy set of wheels that's going to be kicking around the shop now. I might find a use for them, I'm not too sure, we'll see. Let's move this one over there as well, and then we're going to get to stripping down this front suspension. Alright, so I think it's going to be easiest if we just get it off the truck to start with. So I'm going to undo all of these leaf spring bolts, just the U-bolts at this point. And then we're going to see if we can get this tie rod removed, because I know this is also a little bit of a factor for the suspension to come off. All right, and there it goes. All right, so yeah, everything actually looks very decent on this truck, suspension wise. So far, no signs of wear or tear or anything like that on these parts. They are still basically brand new. All right, let's get the brake lines removed. Before we take off the last brake line, let's maybe just get this differential removed, because that is going to be no longer required. So we'll just put that down over there. All right, I'm not too sure. Yeah, we're just going to run it through the transfer case. There's no real reason to remove the transfer case. All right, so let's take off this last brake hose over here. And then we're going to grab the whole front axle. Once we can get it free from here, I'm not too sure exactly what's holding it in. It might actually be something to do with the... Let's just see. Okay. I'm going to have to probably take off that drive shaft over here as well, which might be a little bit of a... what's holding us back here. Yeah, obviously the shock absorbers might also be holding this into place. So let's take it off over here at the bottom first. And there we go. Okay, so we've got the shock absorbers that was holding this thing back into place. So yeah, we can just basically strip this down now. It might actually be very quick, because we just need to get these hub carriers off on both sides. We'll just transfer the whole assembly. We'll get the half axles out, because obviously we're not going to need those anyway. Alright, so let's get this side removed as well. It's just the top bolt over there and the lower one. Okay, and then there's the complete axle with the half axles. So we'll probably send these parts back to TC. I'm not sure if we're going to hang on to those as well. We'll just double check with him. But now it's going to be a matter of bringing this a bit closer. Alright, so there we go. So this needs to be assembled by putting these hub carriers back on. Alright, so let's bolt that one down. And right over there. I'll grab the other one. And let's just bolt that back down. Alright, so yeah, that was actually quite easy. I thought this was going to be a little bit more intensive to do this job, but looks like we've got it sorted out. Alright, let's just bolt this axle back into place with the U-bolts first of all. And just make sure we bolt everything back up. Alright, this front shock absorber is still there. We need to get the other one installed back onto here. Alright, let's bolt it down at the top and also here at the bottom. Come on, where's this bolt? There it is. And the brake hose. Did I get this brake hose on this side? I did. Okay, so that is looking very good. Alright, now we can get our drive shaft back into place, which we actually took off unnecessarily. Alright, so that is sorted out. So now we can get our steering link back onto this thing. I'm pretty sure that will go on without a problem. Just like that. And let's just zip it down over there. And now we can put our tie rod back in. Alright, we're going to bolt it down over there. And over here on the steering column. And right over there on the knuckle. And just like that, this job is nearly finished. Alright, so let's pop on the wheels for the front as well. We're going to lower this thing back down. And then, yeah, I think we're going to just check if the tires need air. If it does, we'll probably go and grab our air compressor. We'll just get them aired up. And then, yeah, hopefully everything will be basically sorted on this thing. I'm not too sure if there is a longer drive shaft for this truck that we can actually remove the differential, or the transfer case rather. Removing the transfer case, we are going to need one heck of a long of a drive shaft on this thing. So yeah, I didn't really do my research on this, so I hope that is the way that it's actually meant to be now. But if you come to think of it, there's no power being transferred to the front axle anyway, so I don't think it's really a problem if we don't change it out. So yeah, I guess we will find out. I'm not too sure. I'll just check with TC if there is something we can still do to that, and yeah, it needs to come back to the shop. That's not going to be a problem. It's just going to be a quick job anyway. Alright, so we got it lowered down, and yeah, the tires are all flat, so we're going to grab the air compressor, which I actually left here because we usually use it a lot more in this shop rather than back in the body shop now these days. Alright, so let's just maybe put that back on. I'm just going to go down with the pressure here. We're going to go to, I think, 2 bar. That should do. That is quite in the middle of where we need to be with this, I believe. But as this is going to be a track truck or a drag truck, aka drift vehicle, it's probably going to fiddle around with the tire pressures anyway. So we'll just make sure we don't damage anything in the process, and just make sure everything is nicely inflated on the wheels. Alright, and that is the second last one. Let's just get the last one sorted out here. Alright, and there we go. So that is job done, I believe. So now all that's left for us to do is do a little bit of a test drive, and I'm going to try and do a small burnout just to see if the front wheels actually, or the rear wheels, are going to be smoking up a bit now. Because I mean, that is probably what this is all about, is getting some smoke off the rear wheels. Alright, so let's do it like this. Alright, yeah, this thing has got a lot of power. Alright, so we're gonna put it into first, our foot firmly on the brake, and let's just... Yeah, there we go. Alright, so that is definitely leaving some marks on the paving over here, which is not ideal. Ah, I don't see anything. Okay, so yeah, maybe these tires haven't been broken in yet. That's probably why. But yes, I think it's safe to say that we are done with this job. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to give TC a quick phone call and just see if we can maybe go and drop the truck off over at his shop again. That's going to mean we have to hook up to the trailer because this thing is way too low to go on the ramp truck. So yeah, but I think that actually turned out quite well. We've got the rear-wheel drive conversion done on this thing without any problems, and I think this thing is gonna be shredding some proper rubber now. But yes, I think before we actually go ahead and do the drop off of the truck, after speaking to TC, we are going to maybe do the Volvo spots. There's a couple of thoughts we need to get back on this thing, so I think we could probably do that. But I think, yeah, let me first phone TC and see what he says, and then I'll bring you guys back up to speed once I'm done with this phone call. Alright, so yes, I got off the phone with TC, and just as I put the phone down, an old buddy of mine actually pulled into the shop, and he was hauling this thing. So yeah, what we have here is another ramp truck similar to ours, but obviously this one has seen much better days. So yeah, this is apparently a project that he started, his father and he, and yeah, they really didn't get around to it as much anymore. So it sort of was a little bit of an abandoned project, and he decided to bring it over to my shop. So my buddy, his name is Justin. So we are going to try and sort out this thing for him. The engine apparently has been completely rebuilt already, and this is kind of the theme that they were going for. You can see on the engine bay here. So yeah, we are gonna have to try and think of some theme for this truck that's going to match the crazy engine in it. So I actually did try and start this thing up. It fires up and it runs, although there's no radiator on it, so we don't really want to let it run for too long. And obviously you can tell by the way the steering wheel is sitting, there's absolutely no steering on this thing. So I think there's probably a steering box missing or something like that. But yeah, they actually also gave me the money that they are willing to spend on the project. So this is $50,000. So we are going to just go ahead and put this in our backpack for now. We'll add that to our bank account maybe a little bit later off camera. But yes, so this is our next project vehicle that we're going to have to do for a customer. So that's what I'm talking about. We keep getting business in, and that is a good thing. So yes, we are going to maybe hook up to the trailer a little bit later on and just load TC's drag truck. I don't really know if we can call it a drag truck just yet. So we're going to get that hooked up, well, the trailer hooked up and loaded onto the trailer, and then we'll go and drop that off. But at the moment, we are going to do a little bit of work to our personal vehicle, the Volvo 240 over here. So we've got a couple of parts to put back on this thing. So there's nothing really major. So we've got a couple of things that actually just pop into place, but we need to do this the right order. So we're going to grab our windshield. First of all, let's go and pop that into place. It'll go on just like that. So yeah, I know we still need to get the interior, but I figured let's just put everything back together for now, what we can do. Where did I put the rear window? I can't remember where I put everything. Oh, it's probably, there it is. Okay, so it is actually there. It's just underneath all of the rest of these things. What is this glass? This glass is for the rear left. Okay, so we'll get that installed. Let's grab the rear window over here. You can actually slide it out from under the rest. Okay, and then, yeah, we're just going to slap on the rest of these windows. There are some small ones for the rear as well, so we'll get those next. Okay, so let's just make sure we get them in the right places over there. That one's for the rear left. Let's grab the rear right one. And now we can also pop this thing into place. There we go. That's our little rear. I don't really know what to call it. Here in South Africa, they call it a piranha back, but I'm not sure what you will call it in your country. What is the name on this? Actually, let's have a look at it like that. So it's just a window cover. So yeah, I'm not too sure. There must be a certain name for it. So drop your comments down below. What do you guys call those window covers in your country? And then, yeah, we can obviously talk about it a bit. If I'm not mistaken, a piranha back is actually just the brand of the actual product. But yes, we're going to continue. We've got our front grille in. So let's grab the wrench. We're going to need a wrench and probably actually the screwdriver as well. So let's just grab them both. We're going to use the wrench to tighten up the grille, because I do recall those are 2 bolts. Right, just like that. Okay, and then we've got the 2 taillights and the 2 headlights. So now these are actually, yeah, basically they have to go in together. So we're going to grab this and just pop them into place like that. And that's the rear taillight sorted. And as for the headlights, same story. We're going to grab these. We're going to pop them into place. And then see if they need to screw down. I can't really recall. I think it's a screw just over there. And we've got a screw over on this side. And that is the front end basically sorted as well. So now that we are done with the wrench, let's just put that on the table there. We're going to grab the 2 license plates. Going to get them installed back on. I see we do have a little bit of window tint, because I wanted to try and tint the windows, but I don't think we have enough tint, so I'll probably have to go and get another roll of window tint. So that is not going to do all of the windows. Alright, so let's pop this front license plate on, and then at least our car is sort of put back together. And now we just need the interior in this thing, and then yeah, this thing is basically done, ready to go over to auction. But I'm going to be tinting the windows at least, just to give it that little bit of a different, meaner look. Because at the moment that thing looks pretty lame without the door cards and everything installed. But once we get that sorted out, I think this thing is going to look pretty decent, especially with some window tint on. So let's just get ourselves a little bit of an idea. See how far this window tint actually does want to go. Alright, so we can at least do these 3 windows. Yeah, I think that actually works quite well. So we just have to get some more of these rolls of tint. Probably going to need just one more, because it's the rear glass and then the 3 windows on that side. And then this thing is going to have tinted windows. Obviously, I don't tint the windshield itself. Other parts that we still need to get for this thing, if I'm not mistaken, is a wiper blade. But we'll try and figure that out. Maybe after we put the interior back into the car, we'll get that sorted out. But yes, now I think it's time for us to go and see if we can get TC's truck delivered over to his shop again. So yeah, I did put all the tools away. So let's just come out here. We're gonna most probably what I'm thinking, maybe let's try and tow with the F100, because I want to see how this is going to handle the weight at the rear. And we're going to see if we're going to have to maybe upgrade the rear suspension at some point as well. Alright, so let's fire this beast up, and I know it's a little bit underpowered still, but I think it should manage to tow the trailer. Alright, I think if we put it maybe here, just don't go into the street, we're going to bring the trailer closer, and then we can try and drive the pickup truck up onto the trailer. It's probably going to be the easiest way of doing this. I already closed the suspension shop as well. Alright, so let's grab this, and let's just undo the handbrake. It's going to make this thing very hard to pull. Alright, let's bring this over here. Just try and be careful not to bang into anything. Alright, like this. And let's get this hooked up nice and secure. And let me just get this thing lifted up. Alright, perfect. So there we go. And now it's just going to be a matter of driving this thing up onto the trailer as safely and, well, probably slowly as possible, because we do not want to put this thing over the trailer or even damage anything. And I hope we're going to be able to squeeze past here. There should be enough room. Alright, let's just try and get this thing lined up perfectly. Yeah, actually this thing has got a lot of power. Even in first gear, if you disengage the clutch, this thing keeps rolling forward even if your foot is on the brakes. Alright, let's see. Okay, let's see how we did. I believe we are good. Yeah, that is sort of rolling backwards already. So what I'll do is we will just lower the ramp, and I will maybe see if we can just pull it forward a tiny bit. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem maybe. Right, and the handbrake on our F100 doesn't seem to be holding this all too well. So let's just get this lifted up again. And I'm going to play it safe. We're going to put the winch on this thing. Alright, so that is all hooked up. And let's just come forward slowly. Alright, I think that should be good. Alright, we are a little bit far over to the left by the looks of it, but that could also just be because of the wheel spaces. Yeah, that's it. So we are more or less center on this thing. So I think let's lower it down. And yeah, obviously we're going to have to try and put on the handbrake of this trailer, because there we go. Alright, that might help. Alright, let's get this unhooked. Alright, and lower it back down all the way. Alright, so there we go. The truck is loaded, and I think we are ready to head off. So let's just jump in this thing. I nearly forgot to take off the handbrake over here. Alright, so let's jump in and see how our F100 is going to tow this trailer with TC's truck on the back. I'm hoping everything's going to be okay, and we're not going to run into any problems. Alright, so let's be off. Okay, so we made it safely back to TC's shop, and yeah, I don't think we're gonna struggle with this at all. We're just gonna be jacking it up once again, and let's just put on this handbrake as well, and then we'll get this thing rolled off the trailer once we can get it lifted high enough. Alright, that is the easiest way of offloading a vehicle from a trailer. so far that I have found, and also it's pretty safe as long as you make sure you've got enough runway for it and you're going to be able to run back and catch the vehicle. Alright, so let's get this thing fired up. We're going to just pull it in the parking spot for him. I think that one over there looks good. We'll just turn this way, and what I'll do is we'll pop it into neutral, because this clutch is actually, yeah, it's, the engine is, the RPM I think is just set way too high. It keeps going. It's not gonna stop with the brakes just like that. Yeah, but there we go. We've got TC's truck done, and that really didn't take too long. So I'm just hoping he's gonna be happy with the way we did this two-wheel drive conversion. As I said, I might try and find out if there's a longer drive shaft available for this thing, so we can actually do the transfer case delete, which I think would actually be ideal. So we'll try and see if we can figure that out for him. But for now, I call it job done, and we'll see if we hear from him and if there's going to be anything we need to do to the truck for him. But yes, I think we are good to head back to the shop. Our F100 actually didn't do too bad towing the trailer. It's just a little underpowered, and I don't think we would run a really tow with this thing all the time. That is why we've got the ramp truck at the end of the day. But yeah, that little inline 6 in that truck is definitely a little bit more powerful than the V8 in this truck. Alright, so we're just going to pop a little bit of a U-turn here. We're going to reverse the trailer back. Whoops, and then that jumped the curb a little bit. Alright, let's not destroy the building. Alright, I think, yeah, we'll be good. Okay, we're going to go on the beach sand a little bit here. Alright, but yes, let's head back to the workshop, and I'll catch up to you guys once we get there. Alright, and we are back at our shop. So let's just get our trailer more or less into position to go back into its spot over there. Alright, we'll shut it off, and then, yeah, let's just quickly get this thing unhooked and pushed back into the spot over there. I quickly want to go into the office before we end this episode and just count all the money that Justin sent along with his ramp truck. And then we're more or less going to see what it's going to cost this thing, because if it's going to be under the amount of money that he gave us, I might actually return some money to him. That'll be a first for our shop over here, but I'm sure we can get this thing done with the budget that he gave us. There's definitely going to be quite a little bit of work. There's a little bit of rust on this thing. Let's just check if the battery is strong enough to operate the ramps back here, because we haven't checked if that still works, but yes, it does actually. So this thing isn't terrible, and it, as I said, it does fire up. So let's just hop in here. We're gonna fire it up. It's a bit of a slow crank, so that might be a bad starter motor maybe, although it looks pretty, yeah, that looks kind of rusty, so the starter might be bad. But yeah, we don't want to run this thing too long without the radiator. We don't even have a working gauge cluster to show us what is happening with the temperatures in this thing. So I think it's going to be just a bit safer to not run it too long at the moment. Actually didn't even check if this thing has got oil in it. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. If we ran it any longer, we might have ended up blowing this engine up. So we are definitely going to have to put in some oil in this engine before we try and fire it up again. I believe he actually lubricated the bearings before putting this thing back together. So yeah, that is not too bad. We will be fine. So yes, I think let me quickly pop into the office. We're gonna basically lock up everything, and I don't think there's going to be any space for us to park that ramp truck any other way at the moment. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go and quickly count the money, and then we'll add it into our bank account. Yeah, we should probably be able to do that without any problems. So let's get to counting the money. Alright, so I did a quick count on the money. So those were stacks of 10,000 bucks. So we added 50,000 to our bank account. Well, not really our bank account, but to our wallet. We'll go and cash it into the bank a little bit later on. But yes, I think that is going to be everything for this episode. There's not really much that I could do now. We are still waiting for the Mercedes to cure the primer a little bit. I'm going to start maybe sending the interior in for the Volvo for its upgrade, if we can call it that, or they probably dye it or something. We'll see how they get this done for us. So yeah, that is one thing that we're going to be able to sort out in the next episode. Hopefully we'll also be able to maybe paint Lacko's car. I'm going to get the bumpers and all that fitted when the thing is dried up a bit. We are going to get some new pieces of trim. So these ones are a little bit bent for the driver's side. You can see that end is definitely not straight. And as well as the same for the front doors one over here. We've got little pieces of trim. We're going to just get some new ones. I think this one even is a little bit damaged because it also came from the front of the vehicle on the left hand side. These ones aren't too bad. We might be able to reuse them. I don't see any problems with the right hand sides ones. We still got our decals and stuff we need to put on this thing once everything is put back together. So yeah, I think hopefully in the next episode we're going to be painting that car, and then it's just going to be a matter of getting the interior, which I also ordered. I haven't paid for it yet, so that is still going to come. I'm not too sure if they're going to deliver it or if we're going to have to go and pick it up. If we do have to go and pick it up, we at least got our pickup truck with the top cover, or the bed cover, I believe that's what they call it, or the topper. Here in my country we call it the canopy, but yes, okay. So luckily we do have the canopy, and then I'm going to be able to hopefully load all of the interior parts we need for the Mercedes in there. As for the ramp truck, because we are not using it too much at the moment, I was thinking of stripping this cab off and getting this thing painted in its colors that I wanted to do. We want to do a top red color just to match our shop logo and all that, and then the bottom half will be painted white. So I'm thinking of doing that. That means just stripping the cab off, stripping all the trim and pieces off, getting this thing basically not really sanded. It's actually ready to go. The paint on here is actually quite still fresh, so we should be able to just get it sorted out without any problems. So yeah, that is a part of my personal project that I want to tackle still. In terms of other personal projects, I did get a little bit of a word about an old BMW E36 that might be available for us to purchase quite cheaply. It's been a little bit neglected, but the car is apparently in a rare color, the original color, so we might be able to get that painted up in its original color and just bring a little bit of value back to the car. And then obviously we're going to make a little bit of money. But as you guys know, we really don't have our own toy vehicle as such yet. So in the future I would like to get myself a nice decent vehicle we can build up, maybe to have as a drag car, because I'm feeling a little bit competitive now with regards to drag racing now that TC has got his drag truck all set up and all that. So we might end up actually challenging him to some races and just maybe having a little bit of fun doing some drag racing just for kicks. But I think we are done here at the for today, so I think we're going to cut the episode right over here, guys. So thank you all for tuning in. So yeah, I'm going to head back to the house, and it's still a little bit early today, but I think we did all of the work we needed to do. So I will catch up to you guys in the next one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all back here at FUNCLE's Customs for the next episode.